Hey guys, Kendal Cann here, financial advisor out of Florida. And today I wanted to touch on some mistakes that I'm seeing come through our lead pipeline. And to some of you it might seem like common sense, and then to others it might be a light bulb moment. But I hope the overwhelming majority of the information we go over is a light bulb moment for some of you, and maybe we can save you guys some time as you go through the process of hiring a financial advisor. Number one, mistakes I see people make early on in the financial advisor hiring process, and this is going to seem so basic to some of you, but it's so common, and that is people hire the first financial advisor that they are meeting with. And the reason why that is such a big issue, and I've worked through this for many hours, I think people are just so overwhelmed by the hiring process, especially people that have never worked with an advisor before or maybe don't know someone who has. This is a partnership that will last a lifetime if you find the right person, but the problem is most people will rush into it and therefore have to switch 2-3 times before they get to the right person. It is actually a prerequisite in my practice that before you come on as a client, you have interviewed at least 2 other. Another component to number one would be people are quick to ask about fees, but they are really slow to understand them. Don't get me wrong, fees are crucial. They are fundamental that you understand how fees in our industry work so you don't get taken advantage of. But to ask what someone quotes as a fee is to walk into a restaurant and say, what's the cost of food? Every financial advisor has a different service offering, and to be able to adequately compare financial advisor A and B, you need to understand the differences between those service offerings. For example, the average financial advisor charges 1% on $1 million of assets. The financial advisor, on average, meets with their client once a year. If you want a financial advisor that is more available to you, perhaps monthly or quarterly, you can expect to pay more than 1%. So when you ask about a fee, ask these other questions along with that, like how often are you meeting with a client? How available are you to me? Does your fee include an annual financial plan? Will you be using mutual funds with expense ratios? Understanding those questions is just as important as asking what your quoted fee is. A third component to number one is asking an advisor if they are a fiduciary, but not actually verifying it. I get asked this almost every time I am interviewed, and I'm happy because that means people are understanding finally what is in their best interest. But you have to understand the words that you're using here. The best way to understand or verify if someone truly is a fiduciary is by going to the SEC website and typing in their name or the firm that they work for. You can ask, but don't be naive. Trust, but verify. Number two, what you need to know before hiring a financial advisor. The first component of number two is pretty basic. Just understand the language, the vernacular that is being used in our industry. It doesn't have to be super fancy, but know what a fiduciary means. Know what an expense ratio is. Understand the difference between a mutual fund, an ETF, a stock, and a bond, so that you don't get taken advantage of in a conversation. It's real easy when you can tell that you're talking to someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, to talk over them, make them feel confident in what you're saying because they really can't verify what you're saying. So don't fall victim to that kind of talk. The second component of number two is know what personality you gel with, that you work best with in a team setting, a career setting, a partnership type setting. For example, I am super laid back. I share too much, I'm brutally honest, I'm sarcastic. I can keep up the facade of hyper-professionalism for about 90 minutes and then it just starts to molt off me like an insect losing its exoskeleton. I probably won't work best with someone who is super reserved. I would probably make them uncomfortable, and that's okay. And I know that about myself, and I choose not to work with those people. You have to do some self-searching to figure out who you work best with before you go into the interview process. And be able to detect when someone's faking that. If you're a business owner, I work with a lot of business owners, you're usually already pretty good at that. If you're not, work on it. The third component of number two is honestly a portion of number one, is understanding the three basic type of services that any given financial advisor is going to offer. And what those look like are full service investment management or comprehensive management. That makes up about 90% of most advisors' books. Then you go into a retainer or consulting fee that often looks like a financial plan. And then you have coaching, which is a relatively new offering in our industry, I would say the last 10 to 15 years, where people are maybe not able to meet advisors' minimums, maybe they can't afford an in-depth financial plan, so they want to be taken on as a coach, where they want to learn about our industry, the surface level, maybe dive a little bit deeper, but they can only afford $100 to $200 a month. And that's not necessarily the profit center of our business, but we are seeing a lot of our young people move into that space. Full service investment management is kind of all the bells and whistles in one. So there's typically the correct way you're seeing advisors charge today is an annual fee, but you also have commission accounts. That annual fee is going to look different based on how much money that advisor is managing for you. Like I said before, the average management fee on $1 million account is 1%. Does that include a whole lot? Probably not, but that is the basic in the industry. Financial planning is my favorite service because not everyone will meet my minimum, but most people can afford an in-depth financial plan, and it's more useful for people that are just starting out. Maybe they only have $50,000 overall in their net worth or assets that are manageable. And a financial plan will tell them exactly where they need to be putting money, how much, how well their account needs to perform on average. And they can follow this plan, and it gives them a sense of completion, a goal to work towards every year. And you would update it as you would a will when there's any major financial changes in your life. Number 3, what type of people do I work with the most and why? I want to advise people that think and dream like I do. I put a lot of energy into building and growing and investing back into my business so it is the best that it can be for myself and for my clients. And I like to give that back in the form of an advisor to other people. If I can help other people's business grow, if I can help other people scale upwards, hire the correct employees, open up the right retirement accounts for their businesses and their employees, that makes me feel good. So that's who I like to work with, and I encourage you to work with people that are like you as well. I'll close with this. I have learned that every single person you bring into your life has the opportunity to completely destroy it. So you have to be super tactical in who you bring into your camp. And that's really what this video is all about. Be tactical, be purposeful with who you bring into your camp, and that includes your advisor, because your advisor is going to be your partner in your career, which is going to make up the majority of your life. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or if you're looking for an advisor like me, I am here. You can contact me by clicking the below, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Thank you.